One of the more noticeable things that will catch your eye when playing Baldur's Gate 3 is that your party only consists of 4 people. You, whether origin character or self-made, and 3 other companions. On the face of it, it doesn't seem that strange, considering that Divinity Original Sin 2 also had a hard limit of only 4 total party members. And in keeping with that tradition, Larian has also set a hard limit of 4 in Baldur's Gate 3. So far, so good. But there are issues concerning this nonetheless. Any experienced veteran of isometric RPGs will notice the glaring difference. Virtually every RPG hitherto has had a larger party size. Sure, you could reduce the party size if you liked, and even solo. In fact, rather infamously, Larian had implemented the Lone Wolf talent in Divinity Original Sin 2 for just such a purpose, giving bonuses to players who wanted to solo. And this was actually above and beyond the Call of Duty, since most games might allow you to solo, but don't give you special perks for doing so. So it's not as if Larian has never thought about party size and its impact. Traditionally, in most CRPGs, but by no means all of them, the upper limit and expected party size consists of 6 characters. Pillars of Eternity, for example, started with 6 character slots, and Pillars of Eternity 2 reduced it down to 5, for reasons unknown. It's difficult to speculate why developers do these things, but I think in the case of Larian, although we cannot know 100%, our speculation here would be a little bit more informed than in other cases. Much of what Larian has built into Baldur's Gate 3 is based upon their experience with Divinity Original Sin 2, and for good reason, as that was the game that truly put Larian Studios on the map, and gave them the experience as well as financial resources to dramatically upscale their development team, and the similarities between the games are striking, to say the least, to the point where many people, mostly detractors, were calling Baldur's Gate 3 Divinity Original Sin 3, a topic I've covered in another video, and that in and of itself is not a bad thing as it does not bother me terribly, but there are some potential issues that could arise from this. If Larian has built BG3 off of Divinity Original Sin 2, then there might actually be some mechanical challenges they would face in the context of their game in terms of implementing more than only 4 characters, as many players upset about the size limit want to have at least 5, if not outright 6. Larian might just not have conceived of the game to be playable in all its breadth and depth with a party of more than 4. It's difficult to tell. One thing is clear though, in terms of challenge, adding a whole new party member or 2 of them would just make the game fundamentally easier. And as a consequence, Larian would have to adjust the difficulty of the game relative to party size. Of course, in early access, there is only so-called classic difficulty, but that obviously won't be the only difficulty setting in the game upon full release, and more party members would require, at the very least, something to change. And I really do think it's a mechanical issue of this sort, more than, for example, too much banter between party members or too much dialogue. But I don't think it's just nostalgia, to be perfectly honest, although that's certainly part of it. I think it can be boiled down to the feeling of awkwardness that you have when the game is running and quests are being played out, while some of your party members are roasting pork loins back at camp, both figuratively and literally given the many culinary options at your disposal, unable to partake in their own quests. This results in the somewhat awkward situation of having to swap in and out companions just to experience their quests in all their fullness and glory, which I could imagine to many comes off as both artificial and annoying. This isn't the first time this has been an issue though. For comparison, Baldur's Gate 2 had a whopping 17 companions in total, and yes, if you didn't have them in your party, you would miss out on their quests. Usually, you would choose which companions you wanted to take with you, and you made your peace with that. But there is one fundamental difference between Baldur's Gate 2 and Baldur's Gate 3 in this respect. In contrast to Baldur's Gate 2, Baldur's Gate 3's companions are all very tightly woven into the fabric of the game itself, and intimately tied into the main quest, whereas very few of the companion quests are tied into the main quest in Baldur's Gate 2. So getting all that reactivity from, say, 5 or even 6 companions at the same time might be too much for Larian to handle. Everyone is deeply involved in the plot of the game itself. Shadowheart, Lae'zel, Gale, Astarion, they're all knee-deep in it. There's also a final point to make about what Larian is and isn't willing to listen to in terms of feedback. Some things they seem quite set on, and will likely not budge on. For example, the terrible inventory system. Infamous as it is unlikely to change. Whereas other things they do seem more flexible on, such as UI. It's hard to say at the end of the day, as all we can do is speculate, but if I were a betting man, I would say brace yourself for the full release of only having 4 companions in your party at any given moment. As always, thank you for tuning in. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, as it really helps out the channel a lot, and I will check you out later. Take care.